And welcome to another motherfucking sexy episode of the Cosmic Co Show. We are so excited. I say we, me and my personalities and my spirit guides, because that's the only people in this business so far. We are so excited to have a new good friend of mine, Tara, aka Keep It Super Shanti, aka is it Fairy Spliff? Is your other account? Okay, we're going to go into that. To the show. We've been trying to make this happen for a little minute. Welcome, Tara.
Aloha, thank you so much. That was like really so sweet. I love that. I love it so much. Yes, thank you. My name is Tara. I am also known as Keep It Super Shanti or Fairy Spliff. And yeah, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much.
Hey, excited to have you here. And so, I know that you, like me, are like the best of us. I was just saying before, we contain multitudes. You have a whole variance of things that you're good at, that you're interested in. So, as far as I know, like you do human design. You are. Is it energy healing as well? Did I see that you do? Did I get that right?
No, I that'd be cool. But no, I honestly I'm kind of a computer nerd. My whole life has kind of been formed around Zelda. I started playing Ocarina of Time in 6th grade, and I grew up with a lot of boys, and they would come over with their notebooks, and I would write down the code so they bring their memory cards, and I would unlock levels, and then they go home and play. And yeah, I make fairy art. So it's digital art. I use Procreate, and it's so much fun. And I so encourage everyone to dabble with Procreate, because if you can't draw, you can utilize that instead. But what I do with it is I'll put people into magical worlds. Like, I genuinely love to look at people and find everything that's beautiful about them. Like, when I look at people, it's so hard for me not to compliment someone and to make everyone feel special. And it's just a way that I get to like translate it into a visual expression. So I was saying I use like a little form of your favorite color and favorite place in the world, and yeah, like moss or ferns, and I use that to kind of create it for, yeah, like your own special recipe. And yeah, that for me is like, I don't know, just like even a meditation of sorts. But yeah, I love branding, I love marketing, I love networking, I love community. It's super important to me. Um and yeah, I do have Fairy Spliff is also a smoke blend and a tea blend that you can yoni steam as well. All the ingredients are able to be utilized for all of those purposes. And I'm kind of been on a pause with it while I redo the stickers. For whatever reason, the stickers always get me kind of stumped, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like, I want it to be so cute, but it looks like confetti almost. It's roses and blue lotus, and yeah, you can sprinkle it in and mix it with whatever suits your needs, and it's really fun and pretty, and it tastes delicious. So I'll totally send you some when I'm back in action with that. So Fairy Spliff is like a dual kind of creative passion like space for me, and Keep It Super Shanti is more of a platform that I get to really broadcast love. Like, that is the whole purpose of Keep It Super Shanti, is literally to have the I'm so grateful that I have the opportunity to reach so many people and give, I don't know, just this embrace virtually of just like everything's going to be okay.
Mm.
Don't take it so seriously. Be yourself. And like with that, it's like all the alignment will come. And I love using human design as this kind of map that we receive these maps in life, right? Astrologically, blah, blah, blah. The rules of life, the Bible, all these things are gifted to us to kind of help us along our path, right? We have this like map. And the thing about these maps is like they're beautiful and they're great, but they're not always going to tell you what exactly to do. It's like we're out here in the middle of this ocean steering our ship, and we find our crew, right? But we may come upon a storm, and like that storm isn't on the map. The map isn't going to tell us what we need to do to navigate that storm. And you may go through it and crash and be castawayed and lose some of your crew members, but you rebuild, you find your people, you go back out there, you go again to find that treasure, to find that purpose, right? We don't know what we're searching for. We're on this, looking at this map that leads to wherever, and we're like, we're gonna go for it. And again, we come upon that storm, and we're like, okay, now we know, throw those down, throw this up, bear the hatches, or what the hell ever, and it's like we're really able to start navigating these experiences through our experience and through navigating our own inner waters with the help of our community, with the help of human design or astrology or any of this. And that's what's so fun about the human experience, right? Is like we are allowed to, and we get to experience sorrow and pain, and we come into this life knowing that we are going to lose everyone we love. Like eventually, like it's bound to happen. We sign up knowing the most important people in our life, our parents, our siblings, one day won't be here with us. Like we all go and we all return to whatever it is. Like we all get to feel the feelings of life and the pain and the beauty as much as we get to experience the joy and the bliss. And when we do have these really incredibly traumatic experiences or hardships, know that it is a polarization where you will receive the craziest, beautiful, most incredible experience, right? Or the little troubles, the little joys, it's like everything's gonna come back into this like perfect, level of centering. But it's like, again, we get to feel it. And maybe when we aren't here anymore, everything is equanimous and we're like, oh, I'm in my heart. We're angels, like we're floating on clouds. It just is. Everything is good. We don't feel pain, but we don't feel like euphoria. We literally get to experience all of it. So I find this to be so beautiful when I feel like, oh, that ache in my stomach or the tears come to my eyes. Like I'm like, wow, like I'm so lucky to be alive, I'm like so lucky to feel it all, and know that like I am worthy, and I also signed up for all the good things, for all the love, for all the pleasure, for all the blissful moments that arise out of trials and tribulations, right? It's like it truly is like the most beautiful thing. And that's like essentially like how I just show up in life. Like people will be like annoyed about it because they're like, why are you so happy? Or they'll be like, you're so happy all the time. Like it does, it will literally trigger people. And it's genuinely a choice. Like I have had so much loss in my life. Like my best friend died when I was in high school from a drunk driving accident, and I got homeschooled and went to college when I was 16. I took a whole unconventional route and continued losing people and like them dying in life really young, and really starting to cherish every person I meet from that moment. Like I know that it's like nothing, no energy can be created or destroyed when we like interact with anyone in our life. Like we breathe their air, like they're within us forever. And it's like we genuinely, how we show up, we never get like a second chance to make a first impression. So to make people feel loved is like what I know I'm here to do. Like I tell everyone I love them because I didn't have the opportunity, to say it enough before I knew it was the last time I would see someone. So it's like I find it so important to consistently choose to show up for myself, to overflow my cup so that I'm able to share with others, because I know I'm going to be open. I know I'm going to pour. I know I'm going to pour from my cup, and I know it might not always be reciprocated. My responsibility to overflow that, because I know that I want to be able to give freely this, yeah, expression that I have of life. I want to be an example of going through the worst possible case scenario situations, completely rebuilding my life over and over again, and then like staying positive. Like I want to be that so that other people know like they're not alone and that they can make it through and that we're in it together. Nobody knows what they're doing, we're all truly winging it.
Mhm.
And yeah, and we have our little guides and our maps, and they're great, and we have our people, and like yeah, I'm super excited right now. I just talk so much.
I love that. That's what it's for. We want to hear that. And I think that's all very beautiful. And like how you've reached and gotten to this point? And where did it all begin for you? Like, where were you born? Where did you grow up? And what impact did that make on your life?
Well, I grew up in New York. My father is a Gemini musician, and my mother is a Capricorn mystic. I don't even know how to explain. My whole life, she has like black hair and green eyes, and my parents both wore all black and like leather and like rock star energy, like very almost like vampire like in a way. I don't know how to really even explain. I grew up going to Salem with my mom. She would read tarot, but she didn't do my cards, but her best friend would. So I grew up going to festivals and being backstage and trying to sneak in, with a cowbell or tambourine or like, my parents dressed us up really fun, and I have two younger siblings who I absolutely smother and I'm obsessed with. Um, so yeah, I definitely, yeah, I had a very unconventional life. I grew up with all boys and I was a total tomboy. My dad like asked me if I was a lesbian in like seventh grade because I wore basketball shorts and Jordans. I'm like, bro, what? Like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Ironically, ended up working in men's fashion for 9 years. I became a buyer and developed a custom clothing program, and it was awesome. I would do custom suits for the NBA draft, and I'd be like, visualize which team you would like, want to call you up, and I would bring amethyst into work because my boss was a Pisces, and it was good for him, and like and he was this like old Jewish man who was always just like, what now? Like I'd come in with henna or like some interesting Shanti like headpiece, and so fashion. I'm like, it's fashion, Joel. And yeah, it was really wonderful. I was diagnosed with ADD in sixth grade, and it was always really hard for me because it was always like, oh, your energy is too much, energy, blah blah blah, and I was kind of always ashamed of my energy. And I moved to, oh gosh, I glitched. I moved to Maui, and everyone would be like, "Oh wow, your energy." It was like more of a good thing, and I was like, "Oh, wow, this is a nice reframing." And I was really lucky. My ADD doctor was an Indian man, and my name in India is means star, like little star. And I don't know why. It's so wonderful. When I go to Indian restaurants, like, and they learn my name, they get so happy, and I literally will get like a free buffet. And I think it's just so wonderful. But when I was in sixth grade, he taught me to essentially to meditate and just kind of sit with my fingers and find my center. And so in my adult life, when I refound yoga, I was like, oh, like I know this. And it really did. Of course, it brings me to your center. I feel really good. I feel muscles I never knew I could feel before. And so I was practicing yoga when I was like, I don't know, I think 18, 19. It was like in a church basement, like so interesting. And yeah, like underground almost in a way. And
Yeah.
it's so great because like now it's like so available and everything's here for us. All the ceremonial ways of praying with life, we're so lucky we live in a time where we can bring in every culture's practices and experience it and find so many ways to pray. And yeah, I was really in love with yoga, and I wanted to pursue, just even getting certified. I was doing classes for my friends in my backyard and just loving it. And I made a big decision to leave a 9-year career with a six-figure salary to become a yoga teacher in Hawaii. And my aunt and uncle live in Hawaii, and I always had the influence of it in my life. And I came out in 2012 and again in 2014 and stayed for a little bit of time and was like, wow, people live like this. Like I can live. Like I remember being at the beach with one of my friends, and this woman just came and pulled up, got out of her truck, went in the ocean, came back out, went back in her car and left. And I was like, wow, we can do that. Like we're allowed to do that. Like we have the sovereign choice to live our life however we want to. And I was like, I want that. And it took me 4 years of literally journaling, like, I'm gonna move to Maui and become a yoga teacher. I'm gonna meditate by waterfalls. I wrote it every year. And I would relook at it, and I finally got incredibly sick. I was living so far out of my human design as a projector. I was like in full generator activity. And yeah, I was like, yeah, I really need to make this decision to recreate my life in a way that aligns with what is going to feel best for me, or I'm going to like die young of like stress or something,
Yeah.
So I talked to my boss, and we cried, and I came to Hawaii and started teaching yoga. And I remember my human design teacher in like 2014 when I was like, I'm going to be a yoga teacher. She's like, that's not what you're gonna end up doing though, like it's a part of what you're gonna do, but you're probably gonna end up doing what I do. And I'm like, I'm not gonna be like coaching human design. Like, what's she talking about? Like, this is so complex still, and I was studying for 2 years already with her. And yeah, I was like, no, she can't tell me this. Like, I'm literally leaving like in a week, like to do this, and like it has to work. And yeah, little did I know she would be so right in a way that, like, I remember I went to the jungle and I drank the medicine, and I came back and I was like, wow, I need to re-listen to this like one recording that we had. And yeah, it was really interesting. It was really yeah, a great reminder. And I was like, cool, I'm gonna continue on this path, and I'm going to, yeah, like make my life in the way that a projector would want to live their life. So Keep It Super Shanti was completely almost in a way an accident. Fairy Spliff was my main account for years. I with fashion and quotes. I always posted quotes. My mom does the same thing actually, and it's awesome. My mom is really the original meme lord. And yeah, I was posting my art, and I think Instagram was just like very confused with what exactly I was doing. So my dad follows my page, and he's a full-blooded Italian New Yorker, and I'm a little bit unhinged. He's very aware of how unhinged I am. I definitely am his like karmic lesson as a Gemini musician that I was here to just drive him crazy, It's like, for sure, in the best way. Like, he totally accepts and knows it's because he yeah, I'm just like him. It's just like, it's perfect. But I didn't want him seeing some things that I really wanted to share on my page. And so Keep It Super Shanti was a kind of like this little secret world I had where I could just say some shit. I could just talk whatever I wanted to. And I genuinely didn't care. Like, I was posting 12 posts at a time. I wanted everything to be pink, of course, because it's just so much cuter that way. And in branding and marketing, it's a strategy. But little did I know that it would form into like what it is today. I think because I was in a very vulnerable state when I signed back on. Basically what happened was I used it as a place to post like some silly things. And then the Leonardo DiCaprio meme came out where he's like,
Oh yeah.
that thing. I don't know why it was just so funny to me. It was during COVID. It was like the only thing that was like really funny to me. And there was just so many variations of it. So I posted like 20 at a time, and I got like logged off. Like they were like, you can't log back in. But I didn't care. There was only like 100 people who followed it at the time. Like, it was just like some friends who were like, haha, Tara, you're so silly. And then I did something a little crazy. I followed my astrocartography to my Jupiter zenith in the middle of Mexico. I went to Morelia. I want to study Spanish. My grandmother's from Spain, and it's a big regret that I haven't learned Spanish. But I wanted to learn that, and it was my Jupiter line. And Maui, where I live, is my Venus line. My Venus line runs directly through my favorite place in the whole wide world. The West Maui Mountain is like the most incredible thing, in my opinion, with my eyes to look at. I like fall in love with it every single time I look at this mountain. And I did feel like in a way like stagnancy from being like this New York hustle to this more relaxed state that I was in on Maui. So I was like, I'm gonna go hit that Jupiter line with Fairy Spliff and we're gonna crush it. And I went with a partner of mine at the time who, yeah, gave me a really hard lesson in life. And won't go into detail with that, but it definitely shifted my whole perception of love and money. And yeah, it was really crazy. It was very interesting. I had my first like real narcissistic experience and understanding that I am a people pleaser. Like I am a very open, loving person, and this does attract this sort of archetype. And I do understand the discernment and boundaries that I need now to interact with that archetype and what to look up for. And it's
Yeah.
perfectly fine. But at the time, I had sold my convertible before I left with like kind of some pressure to do it. And I had the money like in a little like medicine pouch on my journeys as like my I don't know, escape plan if I need to go back to
Yeah.
the island or whatever. And yeah, he was like taking money from me and like I was like, and it got weird. I mean, I don't know how much you're gonna share on the podcast. I don't know if you should share this, but he was like essentially like doing pills and like drinking.
Oh no.
And it was really scary. So I left Mexico and I came back to Maui with like $175. I stayed with my sister. I was on food stamps
Yeah.
and no car. You know, my ego is totally shattered. I was just driving a Mercedes convertible before I left with a really cute boyfriend who I thought was totally normal.
Yeah.
And I came back to this like kind of like utter despair, right? Well, then I'm already devastated and not leaving my room. And then my best friend lost her 3-year-old
Oh.
tragically, like literally tragically in the hospital. Probably one of the worst like things like I could ever even think to happen in life is losing a child. Like I don't think there's anything actually in this world that could even compare to that feeling. And I was with that and I was witnessing that and she was such an incredible like inspiration in a way because I feel like we were both just really in a place where we're like what is the point?
Yeah.
And you know, I would be mindful like of complaining of like my own dramas in that moment, but it was like she never shamed me for where I was or the pain that I was feeling. Or never compared it. She never once said like, "Oh my god, I just lost my kid. Like I can't believe you're complaining about money or boys or whatever." And it was one of the most impactful experiences in my life. And I don't I mean, I wish every day that like baby Kala was still here. But yeah, that reflection was so deep and it brought me to like really just be like, okay, I have to choose like to keep going. Like I have to choose to keep going. Like I'm still here. What is the purpose? I'm still here. If a baby isn't still here. And my mom, our dog passed away. I'm in Hawaii and she's in New York and I didn't have the funds to be able to go see her and just be there for her, which I felt a lot of guilt about. And yeah, I basically just didn't leave. I like didn't leave my room. I was smoking spliffs heavily and I was just memeing. Like I was just in my room at 11 p.m. at night. Freaking all that would make me laugh is like some delusional memes and I would just share it just to
Mhm.
like have a catalog of it almost. And other people found it and I would talk and I would share about kind of what I was going through and I was really rebuilding in that time. As a Scorpio, I find myself almost doing this too much. But yeah, it started growing and it started growing. And then I felt like almost this obligation where, you know, I have this responsibility if I'm reaching people all over the world and there's millions of people that just see this one little pink friendly reminder, like that's great. Like my purpose here on this earth is literally to like love and hug people and make them feel good. And like that's it. I can interplay and I can observe and I can react. Like I can play this game all I want. I can get upset all I want. But all I have to do really is like sit back and observe this experience and play into however I want to play into it. And like yeah, it's like almost like you once you have the awareness of something, once it clicks for you, it's like you are not able to go back. You now have the awareness. Now you have a choice. Are you going to step into what everything that you're meant to be, or are you going to sit with this awareness and feel guilt for the rest of your life that you just let that shit pass you by? Like, this shit is so temporary. Like, we have no idea. Like, we have no idea. Like, we don't know. Like, all of us could be gone tomorrow. Like, our best friend could be gone, or I could be gone. We have no idea how long we get to be here. So why even take this like silly idea that you have to be following a map or a rule that is created, or an expectation that you don't align with because this is what you feel like you're supposed to do because somebody told you that? Like, no, we already know everything in our hearts, what is right and what we are meant to do. And we just need the opportunity to genuinely quiet down and listen. Like, they say there's almost like the angel and devil on your shoulder, right? Like, let's pretend that's like the ego. And I don't even like to pretend the ego is like a bad thing. I don't think the ego is a bad thing. I think it helps us fucking survive. It's a instinctual kind of way of, yeah, survival. And it can get a little narcissistic sometimes, or brutal, right? Be a little bit of a little demon over there in the corner, a little creature. And then we have like the angel, and it's like our higher self, our fairy godmother. And the ego is like, oh no, you shouldn't do that. You can't do that. Maybe we shouldn't do that. They're way better at it than us. Blah 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 blah. And it's really loud. It's like screaming this at you, like, don't do it. You're gonna fail. And you're like, oh my God, like, oh God, what if I do fail? I'm not gonna do it. And the angel on your shoulder, your higher self, like spirit, is literally like, do it. Just follow your heart. It's really quiet. It's whispering it to you. And this is the truth, right? It's like, it's really your alignment. It's like, we just really need to quiet that down. We need to understand the discernment and boundaries even within ourselves, so that we're able to utilize that with others as well. So that we really do show up for ourselves in the most high, to really like understand like what is really the voice of you and what is the voices of things you've been told.
Yeah.
Act accordingly. What is that? What does that even mean? Like, seriously. And that's the thing for me as well. I feel in New York, I was very conservative. I had not even that I was very conservative, but I had to portray myself in a way that was very shut off because I am a girl among CEOs and coaches and basketball athletes. Like, I can't give any of that energy, right? But I'm still a girl. I'm 4'11. I'm petite. I'm wearing a pencil skirt, whatever. There's perception still thrown. And I had to genuinely like be like, yeah, I'm showing up in this way. Like, I had to be assertive and hold my boundaries and all of these things. But I am like overall a loving person. So, really having yeah, the understanding of self, of like the portrayal of self, and also like the freeness of like how we want to, yeah, be able to show up. So in New York, it was like a little bit more of this guardedness. And then I'm in a place where, there's topless beaches and women in lingerie parties. And it's not an orgy. It's just like we're pretty and we want to be pretty and we want to just feel beautiful. And so, it's like, yeah, releasing so much of this like expectation of what we're supposed to be doing, and freaking frolic in the forest in my bikini, like, let me be free. And like, that makes me feel good. I want to climb a tree in my underwear. Like, I'm going to do that instead of being like, oh no, what if blah, I don't know. So I definitely feel it has been a lot of work. I don't believe, like, I think I inherently have traits about myself, but it has taken a lot of self study, a lot of shitty compliments that I integrated into being more myself, shamelessly and authentically, really understanding and knowing that the people who are meant to be in my life are going to love me for everything I am. They are not going to dim my spirit, dim my light, or tell me to quiet down. They're going to encourage me shaking my ass, and they're going to protect me shaking my ass, like, straight up. And so, I have, I think Oasis of Serenity is like an awesome, awesome guide. And I had a reading with her, and it was so epic because this, isolation that I face where I do drop into so much alone time to really be with myself. And this is how I learn to heal. And it does get to a certain point where there's only so much healing you can do on your own before you need other people. You need other people for those reflections and for that support. And so, really acquiring that soul tribe, I do find you're able to align with your right people when you align with your human design. Because I do think human design is really focused on how we interact with others and how we can be our truest self and our own recipe or our own special sauce and complement others' special sauce without trying to steal their recipe, without them trying to use our recipe. Like being like, damn, your recipe's delicious. You just keep it the way it is. Ooh, when we combine our sauce, like, damn, that's so delicious. And then other sauce might not mix, and that's totally okay. This is what they mean with frequency and vibration. Like our literal voices, when I speak to you, I may resonate with you and it might feel really fucking good. And then other people are like, God damn, that sounds like a mariachi band. That's literally been said to me where they're like, your voice is like nails on a chalkboard, like not afraid to tell me, like, I can't be around you. And then other people are like, I know it was you because of your voice. But it's so real because I have the same. Some people's voices, I'm like, ooh, like I like this person, but I hate their tone. Maybe someone's speaking to you and they're like, yelling at you of like, oh my God, why do you do this to yourself? Like, I love you. Like, why are you blah, blah, blah. It's coming from a place of love. And then someone else can say something from a place of malice, but they're using a sweet tone, like, oh, sister, like, I'm so sorry that you're receiving that may be your own inner work that you need to do. What is the intention behind your word? Just because the voice vibration may be softer and you might be thinking you're manipulating it, we can read these tones because we are water. We are water and we're receiving that vocal vibration. It's literally resonating within our body. What resonates with you? Find that. You cannot fake it. If it doesn't feel good, you can say no. Do not force yourself into anything that doesn't feel right because you're not doing anyone a service. You're doing not only yourself a disservice, but everyone around you because you're not being your authentic self. When you're able to deeply understand your recipe, and I like to use the gates or the gifts, as the recipe, the ingredients, because these are the things that make us who we truly are. When we really stop comparing to what someone else is doing, like, wow, that really works for them. It may not be meant to work for you. You have your own recipe. You have your own ingredients that are going to be so perfect for you once you deeply understand what exactly that is. Mm-hmm. And so we start to gather this information and be like, yeah, wow, I feel so validated. That is so amazing about me. Oh, Gene Keys tells us what our little shadow side is of that aspect. Oh, maybe I've been acting in that way. Well, guess what? Now you have awareness. Now you have the choice. Do you keep showing up in that way or do you start to realign yourself to your truest self and start acting accordingly? I think it's funny because that one meme where it's like, I'll send you this when I start acting accordingly. Anyway, I'm like, now I can't say accordingly without even thinking of a meme. I do find I will like be talking in life and I'm like, have a meme for like everything I'm thinking of. And my love language is genuinely like sending memes to friends. Like that's how you know I love you because that's how my mom and I communicate. And I'm like, oh, that's my love language.
I love it. No wonder it worked for you then. No wonder like you giving your love language to the world blew up in the way that it did.
Literally, I have a Virgo moon and rising. I'm a Scorpio sun, but I have a Mercury and Venus in Libra.
Oh.
So it's like, okay, let's go to the deep dark depths of our soul and be kind of sexy at the same time. But then they were like, but make it cute and make it pink and like sprinkle. People will tell me they're like, ooh, like your medicine is true. Because I can be a little direct in some ways or like I don't know, I'm just not afraid to say some things and people will be like your medicine is your truth and it's like but you will speak things directly and say the hard things but you always add like a little sprinkle, like you say it with like glitter. And I'm like yes, exactly, like I will tell you what's up but I also will give you the bright side, like and you can blah blah blah, it's just like It's great. And I really love the Keep It Super Shiny community. I love the girlies and I love like how yeah, I feel like every time I have an alignment call, like a connection call, it's like another version of myself. I'm like, "Oh my God, this is so amazing." Like we like realign and it's so beautiful. And I'm like, wow, there's so many of us out there. Like we're here. We're lover girls out in the world, you know,
Yeah.
join the club.
Yeah, exactly. And they're here for your energy because they've been looking for the other versions of themselves, which they probably haven't seen, and then you turn up in all of this, like, wonder, and they're like, "Oh."
Literally turn up. And I do get sometimes like not shamed for my openness, but like I'll have people be like, "Oh, I remember when I used to be that free and I would get these sort of reflections and projections." I'm like, I don't give a shit of what anyone thinks of me. Okay. I'm going to literally be wear what I want to wear. I'm going to dance how I want to dance. I'm going to have the friends I want to have. I'm going to eat what I want to eat. And nobody's going to tell me I can't smoke a spliff and drink a coffee.
Mm, love that.
Okay.
Yes. I love would you say that, like, obviously with what you've been through, that's helped develop this, but it also, like, it's coming to me, like, didn't New York have a part to play in that?
in
And you
in
not, like,
the
giving a fuck, like, what people think? Like, did it help bring that attitude?
I think for sure it being a New Yorker definitely helps. I do feel I was like elf in New York, in comparison to most New Yorkers. Most people when they're like, "You're from New York," they're not like, cause they're like, "Wow, you are really nice." My sister is got the like when she because we lived together and she left for a little while and came back and I got really Shanti. I was doing a lot of silent meditations and medicines and she was like, "You've lost your backbone. You're letting people walk all over you." And I was like, "Shit. Yeah, you're right. I am." And yeah, so she get out helps me keep me in check for sure, like keep me remember who I am. There are moments when I do feel I need to assert myself that I'm like, "Okay, we're going to pull out New York Tara." I have all the versions of myself. Like I think of all the Taras I've been. I did a whole like process on my name, like with the name Tara, what it means, and like who am I, right? And I'm like, well, I'm still all these things. And that's why I think when people are like, I need to let go of my shadows, I need to like cut the cord or whatever. It's like cool. Yeah, you can do that, but like it always remains. Like you
Yeah.
can cut cords with people all day, but like we're always connected, guys. Like we are one. Hello. Though we're like mycelium in the earth where either even if you want to cut it, like somebody else that you're connected to is connected to it. So it's like you actually have to accept. You actually have to accept your shadows and your demons and your ego. You have to be like, okay, cool. Sadness and anger, like come hang out for a little bit. But like eventually I want to invite joy and happiness over. Like you gotta cruise, right? So it's like we do have the ability to like harness these different aspects, like child Tara. Like I was a toddler, I still am her. I'm in a different body, but it's like still me, right? Teenage Tara, like goth Tara, hip hop, like give no fucks Tara, like God, Abercrombie Hollister Tara, like there's so cheerleader. Oh God. And then you have like New York fashion. Oh, come on. Like, and like all the bad things I did that I'm not gonna expose myself on. And geez Louise, yeah, I've been a lot of versions of myself, like super hippie, live in a van, super fab, going to Malibu. Like, and that's the thing. I fucking love it. I love being a human. I love being all of this. I love being a girl, being able to be girly and
Mhm.
all the expression of it. Like, let's go. Like, that's what's so delicious about this life is like this all encompassing self, right? So I do feel New York, yeah, would definitely give me some of my sauce. It's definitely a part of my recipe. In my human design, I have a gate 10 and it goes to my throat, and it is all about the love of self and threading and the basically sharing about self-love. So I know what I'm here to speak is that. And I know also those like hard truths are meant for me to share as well because they align people with being able to love themselves more.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. And like we've talked a lot about like where you've come from, what's influenced you as well. But like where do you want to go? Like what do you see? What's like your biggest dream? Can you share?
I would say my biggest dream is to start a family. Like I would love to be a mom and have children, and that is, yeah, I think the most amazing gift of life that I would like to achieve on this earth. And yeah, I want to be so in love, and I want to, yeah, I just honestly I just really want to embrace every drop of life that I get to taste. And I just keep saying, Spirit, how show me how good it can get. Cause I'll be honest, like, what do I want? Like in reality, like I don't want like fame or whatever. Like I want to just chill and like
Yes.
I want to chill and play Zelda and breastfeed babies by the river and be surrounded by beautiful women who do honey rose powder body masks with me and have chickens and like, yeah, and like just embrace this life. What if I want to say speak on what I would like to do for money? I don't really know. Like I have no idea. I have worked so hard on careers and like trying to, yeah, become something. I've been already so many things in the professional way. Like I've mastered things and worked them for done them for a decade. I am so open to wherever spirit wants to guide me of how I can show up and share my gifts best. And if that looks like stand up comedy, like I'm here for it. And that's been my newest side quest. If that's being one on one with people, because I feel working one on one, I really love the intimacy, like the interpersonal, the depth of connection that I get to receive through being able to mentor people with human design and self love and being able to share that. I would love to share that in a big way, and allow everyone to have access to everything that I've done to bring myself back over and over again to center. And yeah, I don't really have like it's so funny you asked me this because since I've been back home, I was traveling all last year and I broke up with a very serious partner. We were talking about children a lot and I want that. Like I want that and it was definitely what was the next step and I I just knew it was really fucked up. I genuinely believe he was in love with the idea of me, of all my love and how I care for people and how I show up in this world. But it actually genuinely, I do believe, annoyed them based on how they interacted with me and how they would kind of shut down my excitement or try to change genuinely what makes me like who I am. And yeah, this whole year has been really me really being like, fuck that. And so yeah, I felt like, oh, I have to go really in on my offerings and how am I going to sustain myself. And I need to find a partner and make a baby ASAP. I felt really this urgency to I have to start a new life, right? Like, oh my God, I have to start all over again. I have to date someone and we have to have our life experiences first. And then, like whatever, maybe they're not even, who knows, right? And then it's like, oh, okay, now I'm like, where is my business going? Like, where am I heading? Like, oh, let me share myself more on the internet. I lost 15,000 followers when I started sharing me more. When I was told to share myself more so people knew about my offerings.
Mhm.
And I had to genuinely be like, well, bye. Like, I have to not care if 15,000 people don't like me because there's going to be people who do like me. And that's okay because it will open up for the right people. And that's the same thing with that resonance. Like, I'm just not for them. I have to be okay with that and accept that. And so, one thing that, like, genuinely, I was like feeling a lack of purpose and really think I needed to like create a child to feel purpose, right? And yeah, I had to really sit with that, and through a lot of reflection, I started to understand that like, no, I have plenty of time. The right person will come. The more I love myself and continue to just do what I'm doing, whatever is going to come is going to come. And I'm genuinely, I went, we have a thing here called the low E. The low E is a kalo patch. And it's the most beautiful thing in the whole wide world. Kalo is an incredible plant. It's almost like a big heart-shaped leaf
Oh.
that you eat the root, and the root has sustained Hawaiians for years, and it's one of the most beautiful ways to pray and give back to the land. And so I felt like really, really called to this when I was like, I don't know where I'm going. I mean, this is just in February that like I was like, okay, here we go. New let begin again. All right.
Yeah.
Let me clock in, I guess. And so I would go out to this lowy and you're knee deep in mud and I'm weeding. It smells like sometimes like stagnant water would smell, if you know, like sulfuric sometimes. And like I'm knee deep in like just with my hands and like getting in it. And like it was like the best feeling ever. Talk about grounding, okay? Like I was like, "Oh, this is all I need to do. I need to just come here and do my kuleana and show up for the place that I'm living on, and all the right things will align. And I need to show up for myself and continue to just be me, and all the right people will align." And I just keep saying to myself, the more I continue to just take care of me and just show up, like the right things are gonna come. And I don't know what they are. I genuinely have no idea. Like I would love to be like, oh, I don't know, like a TED talk. I don't know. You know, like retreats. Like retreats would be so fun. But I still haven't had like the actual like call or invitation that made me feel like, yes, let's go all in, because I'm not going to force anything in my life. Like I'm not going to be like, oh, I want to do that. Like, no, if it's meant for me to do that, like it will align with me. And it's not saying that like I'm not going after and following my dreams. It's like, no, I'm just going after and following my heart even more by taking care of myself. It's not like I'm like, you know, being like, oh, let me sit on the couch and let it come. I genuinely am like, believe this self work and the self study and the community and all of this brings in, the right things. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, you know and you don't know and you don't have to know.
Exactly. I really don't need to know how it's going to work out. I just need to know how I want to feel.
Yes. Yes. Okay. I love it. Love it. Love it. And with your the babies, do you want one? Do you want two? And did you speak to them in the astral?
So I am not attached to how many. I would be grateful if I have one. I would be stoked if I have two. Cool. Three, sure. I don't care. Whatever, like again, whatever meant to be bringing into this life, like I'm here for it. And I did have dreams a lot, actually. They were very interesting. Like, and I know the name and everything. I just don't have a partner. And
Yeah.
I'm really fucking picky right now. Like I'm definitely dating, and I'm just like, I want golden retriever, sweetheart,
Yeah.
loves me for who I am, like celebrates my excitement, genuinely like, I want curly hair, I want an accent. I'm like, they have to be tall to balance my short genetics. Yeah, Scorpio moon is ideal. Um, I'm not playing around. I'm like, no, no, no. I'm making sure that like when I create life with somebody, like they are going to love my body through the thickness, and they're gonna be there for me through all the things in life. And that I know I can like laugh with. And that was a big thing with my previous relationship, is that I was like, I think he loves the idea of me, but not actually me. And I annoy him. So how the hell are you going to tolerate a kid? I was like, there's no way I'm going to be like he's gonna be like, get the away from me. I'm like, no way, man. No way. So I was like, yeah, I need to make a really hard decision for myself, for my future self. And I kept telling myself that, like, I'm making this decision for my future self. It's gonna suck right now, but my gosh, it is gonna feel real good when I, yeah, fulfill my personal legend, because I know what's not right for me. And if I stay and I just deal with it because I am comfortable, no, no, no. I'm not gonna live the life I know I'm meant to live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's,
Yeah.
and it's not just for you, it's your future kid as well, isn't it? Like I
Yeah.
remember looking at ex-partners being like, "I can't have a child with you because you treat me like shit. You're gonna treat another version of ours like shit. Like we can't, like that's not how you end cycles."
What if I die?
What if I die? Exactly.
Like, who's are you gonna be taking care of my little
Mm.
precious babe the way I would? Are you gonna love them the way I would? So I genuinely am like, I want this love to match my love. And I do believe, like, that we all will receive, like, the love that we give ourselves and that we give others. Like, I do believe it. And I'm like, shoot, it's like, yeah, this person gonna be wonderful.
Yeah, I've heard that too. Like I don't think I've had one, well maybe one, but I don't think I've had in 22 years of doing it like one happy love relationship. And now I'm like so excited for what that looks like whenever I don't know if I'll even recognize it.
For me, it's genuinely like that golden retriever energy. Like, I love it. I've tried to do the like brooding, stoic masculine, and I'm like, fuck that.
No.
Like, that doesn't work, man. I need you to be like adorable, okay? For me.
Yes. And like be obsessed with me because I'm obsessed with me.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't think I could do it otherwise. And what was really interesting, like I spent the last 2 years, 2.5 now, single, and I've kind of tried to start dating, and I'm like, ooh, but I like guys and girls, like I like energy and souls. And it's like I was like, I'm only gonna date women because I always meet straight men. That's so fucking easy, right? And they're not always great, but I was like, I'm just gonna date women. And like as soon as it comes to dating women, I get so terrified. I find
Oh my
women.
god, isn't it so interesting with the
Yeah.
girls is so different.
Oh,
I,
it's so
I
different.
said that also. I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna date a girl, but then I was like, I don't have enough time. I can't fuck around. And then I was like, Tar, just fucking relax.
No, and like no one texts the other one first, and like no one knows like who's supposed to do what, and then nothing out. It's like it's so much harder, isn't it? Like,
I
thing.
hate it. I'm literally right now, I'm like trying so hard not to text him first. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh God, come on, just message me. Do you want to know what I'm doing? Like, I want to tell you how cute my day is gonna go.
It's amazing, by the way.
It's amazing. By the way, I'm awesome.
If you didn't know, do you know what's I find so funny is like I talk to them in the astral first and tell them I want them to text me, and bitch, you better believe that it works. You don't know.
Just did it. I'm
You're sending an astral SMS.
gonna do it one more time. Okay.
So fucking funny. You'll have to let me know. Imagine if you get a text during
I turned my airplane on, so I won't know until it comes back on.
You will have to let me know. We'll have to update the listeners. We'll have to.
If he does, that'd be so cool, honestly. I mean,
It always works for me. And then like talking to them in the astral and their higher self, it's just wild. It's a whole new way of trying to do this. But now I'm back on the apps and I'm like, I don't even want to talk to
oh,
any of you bastards on the fucking astral because you don't even know how to message me in like the 3D.
I could never do the apps. Like, I've never done like a dating app ever, like Tinder or anything. Never done it. I'm such a like hopeless romantic where I'm like, synchronicity and fate will like bring me to run into this person, or I'll see them like, and I'll know like I have to talk to them or whatever. I'm like, I'm very old school.
I think I have to do that. I deleted them all out of rage, and then I went back
Yeah, fuck that.
to dopamine,
No,
and now I
no,
think I delete them
we
again.
need like the movie. I don't care. I'm such a fairy tale girly. I'm like, yeah, it's real. I don't care. I know the love the love is real and the beautiful life is real and the like you meeting in the right place and the right time. And of course there's challenges, right? There's the dragons and the knights and all the blah blah blah. But like it always, you know, works out.
Yeah, it does. And you have to believe that because otherwise, like, what is that? Like, you create your reality, don't you? And like, it ends up being like a whole lot of fuckery if you don't.
Not here for the fuckery, like not fucking around, unfuckable with. I think I told you, like, no one can fuck me unless I want them to fuck me. Like, nope, don't fuck with me.
I'm here for the fuckery, not to be fucked with, but also for the
Yeah.
fucking.
Yeah, I mean, I'll get fucked if I want to. Other than
Exactly.
that, fuck off.
I love it when Spotify, when I'm uploading these podcasts, is always like, is there expletives? And I'm like, fuck yes. There should be like a fuck yes box. And I'm like, you don't even
There's gonna be
know.
I know. I remember like, you know, when I was doing all the yoga and everyone was so Shanti, and that's why I like keep super Shanti kind of was a thing too. Was you know, I'd be like, "What's up, fuckers?" And then they'd be like, "Oh, sister, like you can't say that." Like, and I'm like, "This is so Shanti. Like, what? Like, what is going on?" So I've just abused the word Shanti. Like the word means peace, but I like to use it for everything. Like anything cute and Shanti, you know, like if you decorate with like sheepskins and have incense burning, like Shanti, it's very shantifying. Like if you're actively getting the environment, like curating the space, you're shantifying. And then there's like Shanti shit, which is like, yeah, like, you know, like this is a bunch of Shanti shit, you know, like Palo Santo, Crystal, you know, we have some Shanti shit. And then you have like Shanti boys, and that's like those bros that wear like, you know, the dangly earring and the like harem pants or whatever. And then, yeah, we just are, it's so Shanti. And then if it's like, yeah, you just get to use it now for anything. And I think it's catching on
Yes.
because I've heard people like use it and they don't even know.
They don't even know the origin.
Don't even know.
No, they fucking
But you can bet if it's a pink tinted meme, I probably reshared that.
And I was gonna say, like, would you? I know you've said you don't specifically know, but just when you were talking, then I almost like had a vision of you with your own range for Keep It Super Shanty. Like, I don't know if it's like a fashion range or interiors or something. You know, I saw that.
So it's so funny. I did try and launch merch last year.
Huh.
I actually really want a lingerie line. Like I want lace lingerie. I want to call it Kiss because KISS is Keep It Super Shanty. I just want it to be like good fabric, and then I know like that ends up being really expensive, and I want, you know, like I want to do it right. But that would be amazing. But I would love to have like a little Shanti shop where you can get some Shanti stuff. And like my sister's making jewelry, and I definitely this is the main piece that this shell is from Barcelona. That's where our mom is from, Barcelona. And then this shell is from Maui, where we live. And this pearl. And then there's like a little evil eye. And yeah, she's been crushing it. So I definitely am gonna broadcast her, like have a little shop or something. But yeah, I would like to do that. That would be fun. I think that would be good. Clothing is definitely where I'm like, no, I'm never gonna do it again. But then I'm like, damn, I am really good at it, so I should play around. And I love that you said interiors because when I was in like sixth grade, or like I was 14 years old, I think. I love this show Trading Spaces, and it was like an interior decorating show. And I was obsessed, and I got graph paper and I would like draw out like how we could rearrange the rooms in the house. And excuse me, and I called every interior decorating company in the phone book to get a job. And then some places called back, and my dad was like, she's not old enough to work, and they're like, tell her to call us when she's ready. Like I was like so about it, and I really don't. I love curating spaces. Like it's actually one of my favorite things to do is just like make everything aesthetic and feel good, so everybody feels like good in this space.
It's that Venus in Libra, no?
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
that also, I'm a Libra sun, so I feel you. And I
Oh,
like, oh, I can see it. I can even like this vision's becoming so clear and it doesn't mean it's the timeline, but it's a timeline where you've got like even like wallpapers that you've designed, and it kind of goes off the aesthetic of what you're doing with the fairy stuff, but it's like it's goddesses, it's like, you know, beach like kind of,
Oh my God. I love that.
yeah. Like,
Holy cow. Yes.
and you like make a lot of abundance doing it. Like I see it, and you could even like, and it's all under Kiss, like absolutely. And I can see like a massive store, and it's kind of like, you know, you've got your lingerie, and then you've got your homeware, but it's all yours. You know, like department stores.
Right? Like cozy blankets and silk pillowcases and your
Yes,
lingerie. Yes.
yes, and like it's like
And
Aphrodite.
like frankincense burning. Totally. Aphrodite is like my
Yeah,
muse.
you
100%.
big Aphrodite vibes. I like can 100% see that. And like even like you go so far like with the plant pots, and there's like, you know, freaking Aphrodite prints on the plant pots, and like and whoa, this is coming through so strongly. And you create like frequency vibes for the plants, and the plants are more likely to like thrive in these pots because of what you've done to enchant them. It's
Oh my God.
yeah.
I love that.
I see it.
Okay. I gotta get going with my creativity. I need to get Fairy Spliff back in action. I can't wait for you to try it. It's so wonderful.
I'm so excited. Yeah, don't let
Yeah.
you.
And I know I can ship to Australia because
Yeah.
I've done it before. Yeah. I actually have a client in Australia, and she invented, can I show you it? It's really cool. I think you would actually love it. There's 3 of them. It's called Era. Her name's Raw, and she's an air sign, so it's called Era. And these are the 3 smells. It's so freaking cool. You ready for this? You're gonna freaking love this. So it comes with this pack and a little clip. I have the clip in my incense holder. But then you have paper incense. They smell so good. It's all natural. It says, I release, I attract, I am. You write on it, and then you take a little strip and you use the clip. It's like a little clip that it comes with, but you use the clip basically, and you burn it. And then, I release whatever, I attract whatever I am.
Oh,
Isn't that so cute?
oh my God. She's so
I
clever.
Oh my God, we worked together for a year, and then this came through, and we materialized it. And I was like, dude, holding it in my hand is so cool. Like, I love it. You want to know what else is really epic? She even includes a QR code for a meditation breathwork thing for how long it burns for.
That is genius. I love that. I love that so much. That's so, and it's so interesting. You guys went on that journey together, and it was this thing in the astral, like you're saying, and now you get to hold it tangibly, and that's why we do the
I
work.
love it.
Magic.
It's literally so cool.
So, like, people are going to be absolutely fucking loving your energy. Like, how do they work with you? Like, where do they find you? Like, how do they hang out with you?
I want to hang out with everyone.
All the time.
Like, have just like a big slumber party. But on Instagram, keep it super Shanti. I have a website, keepitsupershanti.com, which goes right to how you can work one-on-one with me. And then I also have my stand store that has a booking calendar as well as my guides. And all of my guides are so, so precious. I have a self-love guide that has everything from physical self-care practices to more ethereal, energetic practices. It's literally jam packed, like 46 pages of just what it is, the benefits, how to do it. And then I have a womb moon guide, which is all about our hormonal cycle and then the moon cycle, how it aligns. Going into our hormonal cycle, like what energy levels to expect, some kind of occult mystic symbolism with menstruation and how powerful women are. And yeah, there's for every moon cycle, there's like a little intention. And we always focus on like our new and full moon. And I'm like, let's like go for all of them, because there's always the opportunity to pray. Okay. And then the human design guide is just a really basic, like 101 human design, what each energy type is, what the authorities are, and just kind of going deeper into the profiles, as opposed to when I work one-on-one with someone. I actually create an entire presentation all about them and their specific design. And we utilize that to kind of walk our path of whatever our dream destination is, whatever the goals and aspirations of that particular client is. We will use human design and self love and care practices to kind of build that out each week. So yeah, it's really special. I want to show you like a slideshow because it's so pretty. Everything's of course like pink and sparkly and purple and adorable. And yeah, so you and I like
Yes. Vibes.
um yeah, totally. And yeah, if anyone ever wants a furry photo, just DM me and I'm here for it.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. I'm obsessed with these fairy photos. They're so cute.
They're
So,
so cute. I literally love it. I love when boys have me make them for them. It's so actually such a guilty pleasure. Or of people's pets. Oh
oh,
my God. Like send me a picture of your cat or dog and I will put fairy wings in them in a magical world, like so quick.
so cute. I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me here. It's honestly, it's been magical. I've loved it.
It's really special. I'm so grateful to get to know you and just be in alignment with you. Like we are so yeah, it's soul twin sister energy. I love it. So good.
Oh, thank you.